Chances are it's the Gigantic.
Okay.
The Gigantic?
Junpei looked at Seven, shocked both by his knowledge and the apparent identity of their prison. He is not the only one. The fuck's the Gigantic?
What is this Gigantic?
Thank you. Seven nodded to Lotus and began to speak.
The Gigantic.
Yes, what is it?
She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century.
Oh, but didn't run into an iceberg?
Actually, the Titanic had two sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them.
What was the other one?
They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gordain bought her.
Lord Gordain?
Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking.
So he had a really bad fetish about the ship.
That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic.
Yeah, those things could do that. Either one of two things: you become obsessed with it, or you don't want anything to do with it.
Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself.
Go down there and get it, buddy.
Which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
Okay, so yeah, he is a fucking rich bastard.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
I mean, it explains all the stuff we've been seeing, that it looks really old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Yeah, it looks pretty good, and it's a big ship.
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well,
It's an old ship.
this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
God, I'm glad I didn't go with her. Oh, God.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Then, almost as if to save Seven from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away.
Huh. A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. Huh, 12.
Oh, goody.
It's midnight.
Yep.
Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Oh, God. And we're nowhere near a 9 door. Fuck me.
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
Look around.
We've looked everywhere in this room,
They had been examining the room as they talked.
but we haven't found anything.
That sucks.
Right.
That only leaves one place to look.
Everywhere else.
One?
Well, not just one.
Huh?
Oh, God.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Well, you already checked some of them out before you came here, right?
We each checked a single room, so 5 rooms in total.
All right then. That's 5 rooms we don't have to search.
God damn it.
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece,
Oh my
we'll have
God.
the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
Oh, God.
There are 48 other rooms?
Oh, my God. Lotus did not seem excited by the prospect. Seven fidgeted nervously before responding.
Just maybe?
Oh, no. After some discussion, the 8 of them decided which rooms to begin with, and in what order they would go. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
All right, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, god, this is gonna be terrible. They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of the beds.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
Sounds good to me. If during their search any of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If this strategy failed, they returned to discuss their options later.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right.
Then let's do this.
Oh yeah. But I really don't want to. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each of the rooms they'd been assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. Just once, because it's 1 o'clock. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
Hopefully I'm not the first one here. He jogged through the entrance of the hospital room and to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
Okay. You guys got here quick. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door number 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door number 8.
What are they doing over there?
Had one of them found the missing piece?
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Jumpy, look!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what she had meant.
Vacant.
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Yeah, no one's gonna tell you the answer if they're, like, behind it.
Well,
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. And the others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
Why'd you leave me out of this? They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know.
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
Huh.
What? Let me see.
Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot had been open at the bottom, was now covered with metal.
You're right. It's in there. What about the other 2?
They're the same.
Huh.
Let me take a look.
It's not that I don't trust you, it's just that I don't trust you at all. Junpei quickly examined the 2 other boxes.
It's just as you said.
Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others.
Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here,
Where's Snake?
right?
Is he behind it?
Correct.
Or did he just get lost?
none.
Which is terrible to say, but you know. Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hand as if to say not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing.
Huh. Wait a minute.
That was when he noticed.
Where's Snake?
Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
I agree, Santa. That's a good point. Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
Okay. Suddenly she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see.
Just add like a little ledge and he trips over it.
So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible.
Yeah, he did. He was pretty, like, self-assured of himself. Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him.
I don't think that'll work out very well. The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone.
Well, that didn't work.
Thanks, Junpei.
Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
Yeah, I don't think we should just leave her here.
No, we're not leaving two people behind. We should go look for them.
Oh man, this ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
God damn it, I love him. Oh my god. Yes. He's right in that sense, but yeah, it's still terrible to leave these guys behind, but we should be able to come back, maybe? I don't know if we can go back to the other area that we were in. Or at least they saw C-Deck, so I'd imagine there'd be a way for us to get back. There has to be.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Yeah, that's why we shouldn't be worried about them. Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B-Deck, they decided to split up.
Let's split up.
All right, I'll take this direction.
It always works out.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Oh, bye. Soon only two of them were left. Those two were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others.
All right, we should go too.
Yes, let's go. But where should we start?
Let's see.
Back to the large hospital room. Yeah, that's stupid. Let's go to the first class cabin.
Oh, what about the first class cabin on B deck?
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
They took off up the stairs at a run. See if anything's there. Outside of the first class cabin, they found Clover. Hey! Well, look at that. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do? Talk to her. Leave her alone. Talk to her.
Are you all right?
He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
Can you not? He could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who seemed to have been very close to her. Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Alone.
Okay.
Alone.
Okay. Huh?
I said leave me alone!
No, you said alone, but okay. Suddenly, she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off!
Okay, but we really need to go into that first class cabin. I want to see if anyone's in there.
Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Okay. Junpei was taken aback. No, sure. Nice talking to you. Such anger and hate. God, she needs to see a counselor. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me?
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually deaf.
Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
All right, let's go, June.
God, calm down.
Yeah.
Oh, that was useless. They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Oh, that was useless. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
He did his best to push away the misery and depression and forced a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
Let's go to the casino.
How about the casino?
Might as well knock everything out on B deck and then go down.
Let's go take a look.
They turned and headed off down the hallway to their right at a jog. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. Oh, god fucking damn it. She was leaning against the wall examining her nails. Oh, hard at work.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
Oh, yeah. You're really working hard.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
Oh my god.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
No, I don't want to, but what is it? Listen.
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up? For what?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you?
Yeah.
I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital route would be 1.
Yeah, that's completely useless. 19, 10, 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Who? Well, 7, actually. No, that would only be 8.
Huh?
Yeah, if we add 7, we can go through the 8 door.
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7.
Or we could add, no, that would be number 5 door. Huh. Ace way
5
we
plus
could go
6
through
plus
2
8
door.
plus 7 equals
ever find one.
26. The digital root of 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8.
Cool. I like 7, so we can go through there. Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door. But,
Wait a minute. What about the other 4?
who cares?
Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why don't you add them up?
1, 2, 4, and 3. That would be not enough to go through a door. That was simple
1
enough.
plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we?
Oh my god. No, you wouldn't. You really wouldn't. You'd be like, yeah, fuck them.
Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you'd do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
Because you show no interest in the other people at all.
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left.
Oh yeah, that too.
Even if we manage to escape,
There's no way we have enough time to bring someone here to rescue them.
there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
Oh my god.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9.
Huh.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital route for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said. Nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay?
Yeah, okay.
A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right?
Yeah.
The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Who are the 3 people I care less about? Okay, Lotus, you can be left behind. And anyone else that doesn't help make me get to 9.
Huh?
They can all be left behind.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Then the moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine.
No. Wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail.
She said, yes, what she said was true, but how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him.
Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that? That's just...
Lotus's forehead furrowed.
Do you think I could have a moment alone? There's some things I need to think about.
Okay. Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
No.
Yeah.
P.S. I want her and 7. We can leave at that point if I was Junpei. So if I just get 7 and we make a pact and say, yo, where the fuck we leave. Us 3 just leave. Because that would give us 18. So that's what I would do. If I was in that situation. Because we make 11 ourselves. 5 and 6. So we'd need 7 to bring it up. Or 3 and 4. And, I don't want Clover and Santa. I'd rather just take 7. So if we took 7 with us, we could just make a pact and say, our group of 3, we leave. Say, fuck the other people, we can go. Because Lotus would leave us in a heartbeat. So we have to get there first, and we have to open that door first. Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism wouldn't get them nowhere.
Well, regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
All right. Where should we go next?
We already went there. Let's go with the hallway.
Let's go back downstairs and check out that hallway with all the doors.
So together they ran down the stairs.
Oh, it's Ace.
Oh, hey, Ace. Ahead of them further down the hallway, they spotted Ace.
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do? Run to Ace.
Let's go.
With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Nope.
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Right.
June's face looked kinda enraptured.
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
They look nothing alike? Why would you say that? The question seemed somehow odd to Junpei. Yeah, isn't it obvious? They look nothing alike.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Exactly. Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Fuck do you mean like that? Now that I mention it, shouldn't it have been obvious from the start? Now that you mention it?
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another.
Yeah, but these are like completely different.
It certainly isn't rare.
Like, completely. Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke. I mean, good God, you look closer to him than Clover does.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go, Jumpy.
At June's urging, they left. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later.
That was odd.
Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Junpei did his best to clear his mind.
All right, where should we go next?
Back to the hospital room.
Why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Gone everywhere else.
Okay, let's go then.
They turned and headed back toward the large hospital room.
Hey, wait, that's...
Oh, hey, Santa. On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door.
Santa?
Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? Talk to him. Junpei and June walked up to Santa.
What are you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
Yeah, it just turned
What?
on.
It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but
Who do you think did it?
Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
Snake, Lotus, Zero. Someone other than the 8 of them. It's most likely not Snake. It's probably not Lotus. Zero. Would he be on this ship, though? But that's the same answer as someone other than the 8 of them. So let's go Zero.
I think it was probably Zero.
Why?
Why? I don't know why.
Isn't that obvious? He's the guy who set this whole thing up.
You don't think that should mean the opposite? Seems to me like that means he didn't do it. I mean, who do you think took that stuff out in the first place?
Probably Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I guarantee you it's like some sort of stopgap. So it forces everyone to gather up again together and argue over who goes through what door. Because otherwise, let's say you go with 4 or 5 people in one of those doors, you could have cut 1 or 2 people and just gone through another door, leaving even more people behind.
Then why the hell would he put him back in after he'd taken them out himself?
I'm not Zero though, so I have no idea.
It just doesn't make sense. Why do all that work?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So, what happened then? Who put that stuff back in the Reds?
Junpei furrowed his brow.
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Yeah.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding.
Hmm.
Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
It probably does.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I was about to say he might have saw him, but it's like, no, he didn't see him. Junpei stared at Santa. Maybe he heard him. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he'd assumed that the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think that he would need to reevaluate that assessment. Oh, I never thought he was stupid. That's why I like him, because he gives off that appearance that he is, but he's obviously not stupid. He knows what's going on. Or at least, not knows what's going on, but he's very aware of his surroundings. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose.
Exactly.
You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
Oh, god damn it. June, fuck off. Good thing I don't trust her then. God damn it. Well, I will not trust her now. Thanks, Santa. I'll take that advice to heart, actually. With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
And that's that, I guess.
That's an awkward laugh right there. Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? We're done. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
And we can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point into wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right.
Sadly, she is.
We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
Of course you do. She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice!
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
I'm not getting left behind, fuck that. Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. Sure. I'm sure she's right. I mean, there's no reason for her to lie, because if we do, let's say Lotus, Junpei, and then, like, as she was saying, bring along 7, that would be, the rest would have had, like, 3, or, like, we were actually, we just discussed this, actually, because she was talking about how she'd leave, like, it would be 3 people left behind, and it would only be us 4. She's right.